Hi guys, welcome back. Let's check out together the silver bullet session on Wednesday, 3rd of April 2024. So here we are on the 2nd of April. We just checked out the price movements and the silver bullet session, and now we're ready for Wednesday, the 3rd of April. So what you need to know about Wednesday is that Wednesday, the 3rd of April was actually full of red news, and it was the Wednesday right before the non-farm employment change, or the NFP. And that means that according to our rules and ICT rules, on Wednesday after 12, so after lunchtime, we would not be trading anymore for that week. Which also then means that our trading time would be from 3 to 4 a.m. And then we had one at 10, but there are some news, so it would be probably at 10:15 until 11 a.m. and we would really proceed with caution, because as you can see at 5 a.m. we have news, we have other news for the whole day being dropped. At 9:45, 10 we have news, and then at 12:10 again we have red news. So it's really a little bit of a full day of news, and if we decide to trade, we need to do it with big caution and always keeping that in mind. So let's play first and foremost on the 15 minutes time frame the price movements until 2:40, 2:30 New York local time on Wednesday, 3rd of April. And then we're gonna see what the price has done. Let me do it a little bit faster. And we can start analyzing the price movements. So we are on the 15 minutes time frame now, Euro USD. I'm not really interested in looking at what the price is doing right now, looking at fair value gaps, analyzing it, making myself like big ideas, because I know my trading times, and so I'm just gonna let the price run. And when it's my trading time, then I'm gonna start analyzing and checking out liquidity and fair value gaps. First on the 15 minutes time frame, and then we're gonna go on lower time frames. So let me stop here. We have this previous buy-side liquidity level that actually got taken out. So we have here the buy-side liquidity of the previous day. And if we want to be really precise, this would be our buy-side liquidity of that specific day. Because remember, we look at buy-side liquidity on the daily. So from midnight until 2:45 to 50 a.m. New York local time. But we also keep in mind the liquidity of the previous day. And as you can see here, we have this level and this level that got taken out. And then we want to see our sell side liquidity level, which is here. As you can see, we have this big wick, and we're going to keep that as our sell side liquidity level. So let's go now, and yes, before I forget, we have here a big fair value gap, which is always an area of interest, and we're going to sign it as an active fair value gap because we don't see any retracing or anything back. We have another very small fair value gap here, but I'm not going to be signing it up because I can see that the prices actually went past through it, even if it didn't do it with the body of the candle, but only with the wick. I can tell you already, guys, this fair value gap is so small that for me this would be considered closed. Should be considered as closed. So let's go on the 5 minutes time frame. Let's check here the price movements. You can see here buy-side liquidity of today, buy-side liquidity of yesterday, another fair value gap that was here on the 5 minutes time frame. This is our fair value gap on the 15 minutes time frame that we have just seen before, and this is and we have here another fair value gap on the 5 minutes time frame. Okay, beautiful. I think we are ready to move from the 5 minutes time frame to the 3 minutes time frame. And before we do that, guys, remember, the price formed this sell side liquidity level here. What do we want to see? We want to see the price going lower, taking this sell side liquidity level, and then reversing. And so, yes, let's see if that actually happens. Let's go on the 3 minutes time frame, and let's slowly play the price movements. Here we go. Okay, the price took out our sell side liquidity level, which is really good. We are alert and looking for an entry now. See what the price is gonna do next. We want to see it forming a new low, and it looks like it's doing that, and it start to go higher. So remember, we are not interested in this fair value gap. we are interested in the fair value gap that the price could be forming from now onwards. So let's look at it. Let's look if it forms. Okay, the price goes back down again, forming another low. So here we have a low and the price is forming another low, looks like. Let's see if it wants to go lower. Okay guys, look at it here. We have one low here being formed, and then we have a second low being formed right here. So I just want to point something out, like look, this low is at this level and this low is at this level, and they're basically at two very similar levels. When I see these lows, like two lows like this, I usually don't like to enter a trade. I usually don't like to enter a trade because I want to see a very convinced price movement. So I want to see this, okay? And when I have instead something that looks like one low, another low, this is not exactly what I look like, guys. Like if this low it's really like much lower, then I like it. But if they're really at the same level, I can tell you already, I backtested this and this is really not my price movement. So I'm not looking to enter a trade right now. I know that many of you are going to be surprised, but it is what it is. When we have two lows and not one low and then a run away from the level, I'm not so interested in entering a trade. But let's see what happens. I still want to show you this silver bullet session. Big wicks, price running away from this level, but look at this wick, and like big wicks on the 3 minutes time frame. And it looks like that here for the moment we have a fair value gap. Let's wait for this candle to close so that we can be sure that we have or not a fair value gap there. Yes, we do. So we actually have a fair value gap here. I can tell you already, I'm still not looking forward to enter this price movement with this double top. But if some of you want, feel free. Let's see what the price does next. And look guys, now it's already 357. The price did not tap back into these fair value gaps. So even if it did this, then we want to see it tapping back into this fair value gap. And this would be actually the movement that we are trying to catch, right? When the price taps back into the fair value gap. But the price did not. The price did not tap back into the fair value gap. So even if you wanted to enter here or here in the second fair value gap, you would not have had the chance. And now it's already 4, so we would actually not have entered any trade. We would not have entered any trade. So let me clear this up and let's go to the next silver bullet session for that today. Second silver bullet session for the day. It's gonna be much later, so we're simply gonna clear things up a little bit. And I hope you don't mind. I don't wanna like edit this part of the videos because I think it's still important that you know that things don't happen as fast as many other people are showing them to happen. It takes time. It takes time to be trading. It takes time to preparing to trade. It takes time to backtest. It's not just about like looking at the entry and that's about it. We are not interested in the price movements. I want to remind you there have been news, all day news that Wednesday. So we're just gonna let the price pass. Ooh, we have a huge candle here. Juicy news, and our buy side liquidity levels have been taken out. So let's let the price move. Remember, there is nothing to be learned on these price movements. They are throughout the day, and they're not significant for us because these are not the price movements that we want to be trading on. Okay, so now it's 9:45. I'm gonna first and foremost assign our liquidity levels. So we have here our sell side liquidity for the day, and our buy side liquidity is probably going to be taken out by the news, but I could be wrong. Let's see what happens. Okay guys, so let's go on the 5 minutes time frame. Let's sign our liquidity level. So this would be our buy side liquidity, and let's play the price movements. Oh wow, okay. These were the news. These were the news. Let's keep playing. We're gonna wait for 10:15 to actually really considering entering any type of trade, and let me go on the 3 minutes time frame. Okay, so the price has formed here a big fair value gap during the news, so that's also something to be kept in mind. It looks like it's touching on the fair value gap and now going out from it. So the price took out buy side liquidity, went higher, so formed this new high, this new level of buy side liquidity, then went back lower. But in this lower movement, I do not see any fair value gaps. So remember, we said before, this is not the movement in which we want to see the fair value gap. This is. So this is the movement where we want to see the fair value gap. And that, guys, always regards our trading strategy. So depending on the trading strategy that you have with ICT, you're going to take maybe very similar entries, maybe sometimes very different entries, depends on which strategy it is. But for me, entering in this fair value gap is not an option. So I'm just going to play the price movements and see what happens next. I'm currently not observing anything that I want to be observing for an entry. The price just took out this high, so this buy side liquidity level, and it looks like it's going higher. Yeah, okay. It's already 11 a.m. New York local time, and I definitely did not have an entry during this time. Remember, considering that it is Wednesday, we're not going to be trading anymore in the afternoon session because there is going to be NFP on the following days, so on Friday, and so that would be it. Now, something that is very important, guys, okay? I really want you to remember, it's not just about seeing how the good entries look like, but also knowing what you need to be avoiding, which are the trades that you should not be taking when you're trading. And days like these are very important for that. And if you have learned something about the trades to not be taking in this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment. I'm gonna see you in the next one.